Hello, everyone, and welcome to Demystifying Divinity with Joanna and Jenny. We are doing the October updates of 2025 OMG and WTF.
Yes, I piggyback you on that one. Hello, everybody. Hi, Jenny. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. We
Mm.
survived eclipse season some way, somehow, but not really. We're actually recording this. Full disclosure, we are recording this right after eclipse season and into that first week after eclipse season. And us astrologers, if you've been listening to me on my dailies or on these updates with Joanna, you've heard me say that this is the week of 2025 that we've been preparing for. So we're recording that during this week. We're breathing, we're resting, we're still laughing, we're taking care of our nervous systems, and we encourage all of you to do the same. Do you have any hot tips for people as well during these extreme cosmos, Joanna?
Pay attention to your feelings and manage them as best as you can without the feelings taking control of your life.
Thank you.
Considering the type of information we have all around us right now, that's not a small thing.
An amen
Yeah.
and an a women, please.
Yes.
Okay, so I'm going to start with a little bit of an intro before I get into the all signs forecast. We're going to go from Aries through to Pisces. I encourage you to listen for your rising, your sun, and your moon. Your rising sign first, your sun sign second, your moon sign third. If you only know your sun sign, that's cool too. But your rising sign is going to give you a more accurate read as to what area of life it's happening for you, these energies. The sun sign, you feel it more like with your life force energy, perhaps it indicates your career changes. And then your moon sign, if you're listening for your moon, that's more of what's going on emotionally, internally, and some shifts that are happening on the inside. But if you only know your sun sign, that's cool too. We're here for it all. And I feel like the older I get, the more that I resonate with my sun sign, funny enough. And sun sign in astrology does indicate our soul. So maybe it's a remembrance of our soul blueprint and why we're here in the first place.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Okay, so there's a little rant about sun, moon, rising. And I'm just going to give a quick little, I've got some notes here and we're just going to talk about the updates from last month as well as what we're moving into. Joanna likes to take notes. She gets downloads as I give these updates too, and she's going to give her 2 bits. She's going to be pulling cards. She's going to be giving intuitive channeled reads. So get your popcorn, get your cup of tea, and we'd love to hear from you as well. How
Uh-huh.
have you been feeling through it all? Let's go over it. Last month, so September. Yeah, we knew. Us astrologers knew this was the month. And we talk about on the podcast all the time about preparing yourself for the 2025 year. 2025 equals 9 is change. Things are a changing this year. And September was the 9 month. It's the 9 portal, if you will. The changes are all around us now, right? So how are we going to navigate the changes? So last month, we had eclipse season. September 7 was that full moon lunar eclipse at 15 degrees Pisces. September 21 was the new moon solar eclipse at 29 degrees Virgo. And sure, there were some other things too, like probably the biggest one. And I keep talking about it in my daily YouTube. Come over and follow me on the YouTubes. I keep saying that Saturn retrograding back into Pisces on September 1st sort of set this whole stage. Saturn is demanding that we work on our stuff every single day. Work on it. Take an end of day inventory. Where did my thoughts go? Become that neutral observer. Become the observer to become neutral. And you got to work on it. This is unlearning at its finest and deprogramming the programs at its finest. And Saturn is demanding that we do it daily. Like it's not just something you do once or twice here and then you go on your merry way. Saturn is demanding us to get serious. And so that happened on the 1st of September. There were other things too, like Uranus stationed retrograde. Then the next day, the eclipse happened, all sorts of other cool things too, like the equinox happened the day after the eclipse. Mars went into Scorpio, and then squares Pluto. Pluto's out of bounds. We're talking like just days after the eclipse. Like, so did we survive that one? Like this, it hasn't happened yet as Joanna and I are recording this. So it was a lot. It is a lot. So it was a lot going on in September. October's a different flavor, a different feel. There's a couple of signs that are still in the thick of it. And then there's a couple of signs you'll be listening. Maybe it's your sign that it's like, oh, things are happening now for your sign. And you had a little bit of a breaky poo. So we're going to go through all signs. But before I do that, I just want to see if Joanna's picking up on some of the stuff, like, because I went through September kind of like airy fairy, but sort of serious as well. And so what were you picking up on there, Joanna?
So when I tuned into the overall energy for everyone, what I felt was that we are in a space between identities. Who was I? Who am I now?
Yes.
And we are in this space in between. Thank you. They're talking to me. And that can often feel, and it does for me, disorienting. Because it means collapse of the ego structure, which is something we have relied on, but not having the new structure in place yet.
Yes, that's exactly it.
So, thank you, I just got chills. So we can also call it the famous ego death. It's not a death of the human being. It's transformation of your egoic structure, that is how you identify yourself. Example. If someone identifies as, I am a poor person, and they're moving into an identity that says inside, actually, I hold a lot of value, because they're so used to identifying, I am poor. When they let that go, there is a moment of, who am I without it?
Yes. Yes. And it's okay to grieve that.
Yes. And I'm just got full on chills. And that space, who am I without it, which is a space of confusion, is, according to the field, an extraordinarily potent time to create new foundations for yourself. Which means decide how you choose to identify yourself going forward. I choose to identify myself as someone who holds a lot of value. Good. Now, start looking inside for the value you hold. Start seeing it. Start seeing the value you already have. So you stop focusing on the lack of, and you start practicing focusing on, I am actually valuable. Look at all the things I do. And the part of you goes, what the hell is that? I'm not used to doing this. But it's an incredibly powerful time to set forth these intentions.
Yeah.
So they eventually solidify into your new, strong inner structure.
That's what Saturn's demanding to do.
So I got this information before Jenny and I talked about astrology. I know nothing about astrology other than 12 signs and a couple other things. So that's what came first. And then the second thing was, what does it mean for me to be the new me? What is it? Like, for example, we were talking with Jenny, and I'm having this wobbly moment right now myself. It's like I'm between identities, and the identity that I am letting go of is the one that constantly needs to prove herself. And I'm moving into this other way of relating with myself that I don't have to prove. And there's a part of me that goes, what the fuck is that about? Like, what does that even mean? Because it's so foreign to me, because I've spent my entire life proving myself. So moving to this new identity, it's a shift, not only of perception, thank you, but it's actually a shift of vibration. Mm-hmm. So the reason why you're feeling odd or off, because internally, your entire vibrational field is changing. And that vibrational field makes you feel a certain way. So you are in a space of transitioning, if you will. And transitions are often uncomfortable and often difficult because transition means we're moving from point A to point B, and the space in between is uncomfortable, right? But don't let the discomfort tell you that something is wrong. Discomfort simply means you are growing and expanding. Okay? So that's very potent. Also, message is for everyone to not resist and taking leap of faith. Now, taking leap of faith requires a lot of trust. So we are learning how to trust in a new way, in a way that we haven't trusted before, because we trusted other things that we were used to. So this new level of trust is starting to emerge. And if you're someone who's never trusted yourself, and all of a sudden you're now learning how to trust yourself, that's a very completely different vibrational field, right? So it feels uncomfortable because you're letting go of the identity, I don't trust myself, to now, actually, I tune in and I trust myself. Right? That's powerful. People who don't trust themselves live in fear. Fear is a magnificent tool for, I'm going to go there, control. So the less you trust yourself, the more you depend on others. Now, what if those others don't have the same intention as you do? Right? So it's bringing your authority back to you. Does that make sense what I'm saying? Because I'm just channeling this.
Yeah. There's a lot of disaster components in the astrology that we've been going over, and we've been walking through it, and the polarization is real. And it's like, do you choose to continue to be addicted to that drama? That was our last episode. We talked about how humans are so addicted to drama, and stress hormones are addictive, right? So it takes daily focus to keep our thoughts elsewhere, to make sure that we're keeping our vibration at a different level than the low level addictions of the drama, right? And it takes every single day to work on it. And so you do that. So you do that. So you do that. You listen to these podcasts, you do that. And then what? And then, oh, like this is a whole new reality for me. So it's exactly what you're saying. It's that in-between world that hasn't quite hit yet, but we know we're being prepared for it. We know there's something on the other side of this, if we just keep at it. And it's a daily thing.
I just got a vision, cute vision. We're like a chickling hatching out of the egg.
Yes. We're all being reborn.
Yeah.
This is rebirth energy times a million. And for those of us that are here for it, it is exciting when you can get past all the low level polarizing hatred. I'm right, you're wrong. All that stuff that came up during eclipse season. You know, all those headlines that were stealing our joy.
Yeah.
And we realized, oh, we need to protect our peace here. So we're on the other side of it, sort of. This week that we're recording right now, it's the week after eclipse season. So we're not even in October yet. And this is the week that there could be a lot of disasters out there in the world. So we have to ensure that the disasters are not within our hearts and our souls. That's up to us if we're going to go there or not.
Oh, speaking of to what you were just mentioning, yes, October seems to be a time of clearing and clearing. So there we go. I forgot to mention that.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Are we ready for an all signs forecast for October of 2025? Wow.
So Jenny's gonna share with us what's happening in the astrology, and I'm gonna channel what is happening in your inner world. So you have both the outer and the inner. The yin and the yang, what's within, so without. Is that how it goes? Yeah. Okay.
As above, so below. And that's the way that I read astrology. Is I tell you what the astrology is saying. It's a weather forecast. So it's like, you don't need astrology, but like, for instance, if it's going to be a rainstorm, like in the weather later on in the day, maybe you should check the weather so that you pack your rain jacket when you're out and about in the community, right? So that's exactly what I do with my astrology is I give you an astrology forecast. And I also let you know, you might feel this way. So just be prepared. And so in other words, you know, if there's fighting around you, you don't have to join the fighting vibration. So I read the astrology, sure, that this might show up, this could show up, but how are you going to navigate the emotions of it all? So Joanna and I work very well together on the how do you navigate it all. So Aries, you're first. You know what? You got so much going on, Aries. And it's this 0 degree Aries mark that I keep talking about with Saturn and Neptune coming together at 0 degree Aries. That's the creation degree. That's the beginning degree. That's the very first degree of the whole zodiac. That's the new world. That's the new era. That's the new paradigm. That's the new program degree. And so Saturn and Neptune are coming together February 20th, 2026. I keep talking about this, and it's happening in your sign, Aries. So you're being called in a big way all year long and up to that point to really rise. And I know you can do it, Aries. I am an Aries as well. So I got this, and I know you've got this too. We've got a full moon in Aries at 14 degrees. That's happening this month. Neptune's going to leave Aries on October 22. Saturn retrograde left your sign on September 1. And frankly, we love this. We love that Saturn has left our sign. It's going to come back, like I told you, February 20th, 2026. But we're getting a little break right now. Saturn went back into Pisces. We don't like serious vibes. Like we are the children, we're the toddlers of the zodiac. So we don't really like daddy giving us all the rules. So like we're having a little break from that. But, you know, Neptune has been there. We're going to have a full moon in our sign. Our ruling planet of Mars is in Scorpio right now. We are loving that, okay, because Mars does very well in Scorpio. So we're getting that life force energy back this month. We have some like clarity. We know what to do. We're doing the damn thing. So if you're not feeling this, Aries, it's time to regroup with yourself because there is a lot of life force energy available for us in October. Are you or are you not feeling that? Are you feeling like a rageaholic? Because maybe, just maybe you are, because with our ruling planet of Mars and Scorpio, we could be doing all the ragey things. Or are we using our sacred rage to be like, you know what, I am so sick and tired of this BS. I know what to do now, and I'm going this way. So how are you navigating all the energy, Aries? I mean, like, we have a lot going on in our sign, and it's going to continue up to that, what I was just talking about. You know, it's time for us to take back our power, Aries. Are you feeling it?
So then the card that flipped over for you, Aries, is living in the now, which is very self-explanatory. But then I got a whole bunch of downloads when I was looking at it. So obviously this is talking about being more present. But when I say in this context, being more present, it's being more present in your body. Why? Because when you are more present in your body, you are more in tune to how you feel. How you feel often, if not almost always, is tied to what you think. What you think is tied to your programming. So when you are in tune with your body and you allow yourself to feel, feelings will often show you your distortions. Not that so you can blame yourself for it, but that you can see it as a distortion. A distortion is never something that is you, it is a part of you. But as long as you identify with a distortion, it becomes you, it controls you. So to be more in your own authority, you have to first understand how you give your power away. And if you unconsciously keep giving your power away, then you are the perpetual quote unquote victim. That does not mean that the people are not victimized. I'm not saying that at all. Also, what's coming up for you is healing of past trauma that has to do with the fear of independence. Not being able to be independent or feeling like I can't be independent. So if the independence comes up, then the opposite side of that is the codependence. So it's to recognize the codependencies. What do we over rely on too much for safety, security, whatever it may be? So a person who is autonomous is a person who can stand on his or her own 2 feet. It doesn't mean they don't rely on other people. It doesn't mean they don't need other people. It simply means they're strong in their own authority. And yes, there is interdependence on others. I need someone to create this cup for me. So it's about, thank you, merging polarities. I'm good, I'm bad. Well, we're both actually. You're both good and bad. It's this or that. Well, actually, it's this and this and this and this and this and this. It's because when we merge polarities, we become more at one with ourselves. This is when we feel whole. When we feel whole, we don't look to the outside to fill a void. So we have a belief system that says you're lacking something. You're going to be trying to fill that void from something on the outside. So you become reliant on outside to fill a void that's inside. That's merely impossible to do. Does that make sense what I'm saying?
Mm.
But there's something around, there's a fear of not being able to be independent. So there's a codependency there somewhere. So this could be, codependency, addictions, giving your power away for whatever reason because it serves you in some way. Anything that distracts you from your inherent wholeness. In other words, what type of belief do you have that tells you are not whole? And it's to recognize that it's a belief. It's a part of you, but it is not you. And the moment you see that it is not you, you start to identify with it less. Does that make sense?
We got some deprogramming to do, Aries.
Yeah.
Are we feeling the life force energy flowing through us, or are we drowning in the rage?
Mm-hmm. Merging polarities. Yes. Yeah. So that's what I have for Aries. That's what came through.
Taurus. Uranus, I'm going to bring it up again. Uranus left your sign on July 7th, and it had been there since May 15th of 2018. So you're still processing that. So it's coming back, but you're still processing Uranus just leaving your sign. Okay, your ruling planet, which is Venus, is entering Libra on October 13th. And can I get an amen and an a women and a hallelujah as well? Because thank the good goddess, your ruling planet has been in Virgo, and that it simply hates being in Virgo. Very nitpicky, very clean freaky, very not good enough, critical of yourself and others, very passive aggressive. That's your ruling planet, and it has been there. So on October 13th, it's going into Libra, where it also belongs. Venus belongs in your sign, Taurus, and it also belongs in Libra. Oh, thank God your ruling planet is going to be in a good spot, because it's been feeling very icky. You've been feeling very icky with your ruling planet, not in a nice spot. Okay. Venus is also going to be conjunct the North Node on October the 3rd. Okay. Sorry, not the North Node, the South Node. Sorry, my bad. It's going to be conjunct right next to the South Node in Virgo. So it will still be in Virgo at the very beginning of October, and you might be feeling total passive aggressive, icky. Please do keep in mind your ruling planet is going to be going to a beautiful home on October 13th. So I just keep bringing that up. That not only did you have that Uranus thing put in for many, many years, but your ruler wasn't right during the eclipse. So you weren't right during the eclipse. You felt icky. So that's my update for Taurus in October. It's going to get better. You're going to feel way more at home with yourself and your feelings. Maybe Joanna can give me an update on that, because you are a Taurus woman. Does that hit for you?
Well, what I was saying to you before we got on the camera, yes, there's a whole bunch of, the only way I can describe it, it's like an embodiment of things I've known in the past, but it's more of an embodied feeling. And it's a very different, I don't even know how to explain it. It feels weird. Let's just put it that way. Kind of feels weird. The other day when I was on a walk, I also felt wobbly. It's like I was kind of outside of myself, but not inside. Yeah. It's like, what's happening over here? I almost didn't want to leave home because I felt wobbly. But I made myself go for a walk and it actually helped me. So, okay, interesting, because as you're talking, so the message that came through for Taurus is balanced relationships. So anything that's out of balance internally, because we're talking internally, is likely either has or is likely going to come up. Okay. It could come up in relationships. It could come out in you having epiphanies, for example, that all your life you have been overgiving, but it didn't even dawn on you that that's what you were doing. You were just thinking you were a nice person. And all of a sudden you realize, oh my God, this overgiving is tied to me needing to be approved of or needed to be loved, or, it's tied to me not being abandoned, basically.
It could be that big, hey?
Well, it is that way for me. Yeah.
It could be. It really could be.
And all of a sudden you go, what the fuck?
What was I doing there?
Oh, really? I've been doing this all my life and I didn't even know it. It was just so evident. It was just so evident. It's like, so like, it almost like comes up like a bubble, like, there it is. And you're like, what? Where did that come from? In fact, I had that experience yesterday.
Wow.
Came out of nowhere. The one I'm going to share with you. I had a realization that somewhere in my psyche, it was not allowed for me to feel pleasure, and that pleasure equaled dirty. I'm like, what the hell is that coming from? Some ancient beliefs that we are not, women are not allowed. You shouldn't feel pleasure. I had this realization, holy shit. I probably block myself from feeling good most of my life, and I didn't even realize I'm doing it. It was like,
that's a big deal for a Venus.
Oh, okay, thank you. And I suspect this is going to ring true with a lot of people who are listening. It's something it's weird to think about, but it's so deeply programmed, and it affects everything we do on an unconscious level. So when that kind of thing comes up, first and foremost, when it comes up, know that it's a release. When it comes up to the surface, it's a release. And not only do you have an epiphany that this is what you've been doing, which means now you're going to observe yourself exactly when you're doing it and where you're doing it. And you're going to go, you know what? I don't want to do that anymore, because you're conscious. So when it comes up, it's like your program is being rewritten from inside out. That's a big deal.
Yeah,
and that wobbly change.
Changing the astrology this year was changing everything for all of us.
So speaking to that, the message was, bring more pleasure into your life for Taurus. Bring more pleasure into your life. So my mind obviously went to another scenario where people are struggling and somebody says, well, Joanna, fuck you. How am I supposed to feel pleasure when I'm going through this shit? I didn't say it's easy. And sometimes it's not doable. So when you're in the middle of something,
you always have a choice.
Yes, but also it's not about dismissing what's going on or minimizing it because, go ahead and find yourself some pleasure. No, it's about realizing that this is what it is right now. And it may be very difficult for me to feel pleasure right now. That's okay. That's okay. Also, thank you for reminding me. If you are feeling something, the last thing you want to do, lest you're true, the last thing you want to do is you want to do what I call as a spiritual bypassing and say, oh no, this happens for a reason. Oh no, I'll be fine. That's actually doing more harm than good. And it's very prevalent in humanity, So it's both bringing more pleasure into your life, but also recognizing when you can't have that pleasure right now and it's difficult for you to get it, it's okay, honor that, rather than denying what's going on. So it's really important. Because when we deny, we suppress energy. When we suppress energetically, we're not in the flow, right? So suppressing is not a great thing.
It's going to be much easier after October 13th for you.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll take your word for it.
Yeah.
So
you'll feel way better.
For Taurus.
You'll feel way better after October 13th. Gemini. Okay, your ruling planet Mercury is on the move. So Gemini, you might be feeling like way more brilliant than ever. Like you are friggin' brilliant. Okay, just I honor you. I honor your intelligence. I know you're brilliant and you might be feeling it and you're writing the most brilliant things at school and you're just getting it all right. So just, I do hope you're taking care of yourself because you can overthink, right? So there's that. So on October 6th, Mercury enters Scorpio. Then on October 29, Mercury enters Sagittarius. Okay, so it's like changing signs, 3 different signs in October. It's like, and it's moving forward. Mercury is moving forward. Your ruling planet. It's like, woo. The other thing is Uranus. So like if you're a genius and Uranus is the higher mind, the higher mind, entered your sign on July 7th. So again, like you've probably never you've probably never felt more brilliant in your whole life. And I believe that you are. And if I were to go ask who are the smart ones and can you help me figure out this financial thing and can you figure out all of this mathematical thing and solve all the world's problems, I would go to the Geminis because holy. So, but the thing is like, is it monkey minding for you? That's my only concern for you, Gemini, because holy, your ruler is on fire. No retrograde this month for you and moving and shaking. So what are you picking up for the Geminis, Joanna?
So first and foremost, ground yourself, Gemini. This is what I got. Okay. Also, ground any ideas you've had on the table for a while. What do you mean by grounding? So if you've had ideas, one of the ways to put ideas into action is grounding it with some sort of action. So if you've been sitting on ideas for a while and you think they're good ideas, ground them by actually doing something about it, even a little small step. Okay. I'm hearing that I'm talking to a lot of procrastinators, and I understand why, because when you are guided to do something new and it's something you haven't done before, even though you feel in your bones, it's what you want to do. Taking that first step can be very hard because taking that first step means you're no longer just thinking about it, you're now doing it. And you're doing something that is different than what you've always done. And that's a little bit, a little bit uncomfortable. So many of you Geminis who are listening to this are going through a threshold, like we all are. And the threshold is between 2 jobs. So it could be between 2 careers, 2 jobs, two different, almost opposing frequencies. Letting go of one in favor of something new, but this something new is not grounded yet, and there's a little bit of trepidation and fear around it. I feel it's because it's your calling. It's like your inner calling is calling you. And you want to, but you're not sure how, you don't sure if you've got what it takes. It's that little bit. If it's something that you feel the call to, you owe it to yourself to try it in ways that's practical and doable. Don't go crazy. Like, don't sell your entire house because you have an idea that you haven't really looked into too long. Like be practical. Also, noticing what are your cultural programming that no longer resonate with. In other words, look at your cultural programming and notice what's no longer resonating with you. Because a lot of the times we hold on to our programming without even questioning our programming in the first place. Like we oftentimes do things, we don't even question why we do it. We just do it because we've always done it. So it's asking yourself, is this still really how I want to do this? Is this who I want to do it with? Is this still really what I want? And also noticing how the outside programs you, because the outside has massive influence on what we think and what we believe. Okay. I won't go into politics or anything like that because it's not my area. But, for example, when we are watching TV, if you watch TV, and every second ad is about a drug, without which you're going to die, you're going to be ugly, you're going to be fat. Even though we don't really think about it, we are being programmed with a message. And the programming is so insidious because it goes into the unconscious. So become conscious how you are being unconsciously programmed. When you're listening to a certain, let's say, station that talks all about fear and terrible things, and it's constantly in your background, that information is being fed to your entire field. You might not be healing consciously, but it's coming into your field. It affects you. Now, can you completely get rid of bad news in the world? No. But at least do yourself a favor and be conscious and mindful what you give your attention to, consciously or otherwise. That's a big one. And also for some of you, you're here to share with others how programming works. So you might be what's being called a field regulator. What is a field regulator? Hang on, let me ask. Someone who helps another regulate their own inner field. Oh, yeah, like so. Whatever label you want to attach to it, teacher, whatever. I try not to give labels, but so this is for some of you, not for all of you. But programming is the big theme for you. I hope that makes sense.
Love that. Okay, Cancer. So you were feeling all the feels in August because you had Venus going through your sign. And then for this month, October 11 and 14 to 14, the moon, which is your ruler, is in your sign. So you're going to love that. That's mid-October for you. You're going to feel all the feels. You're going to love it. You're going to feel cozy. So, but your particular ruler, the moon, is full on in Aries on October 6th. And then the new moon is in Libra on October 21. And your ruler, the moon, doesn't really like being in either of those signs, does it? So, how are you feeling? How are you feeling, Cancer? You had Venus going through in August and it felt really great and everything. But now we've got the two lunations this month. It doesn't really feel at home for you. So are you taking care of your feels? Are you feeling all the feels? Are you working through the feels? Are you crushing down your feels? Are you honoring your feels? Cancer, how are your feels? Joanna?
This is an interesting message. So the card that came was, being the mentors. So it's a little bit similar to Gemini, but it's the word mentor here. What is behavioral strategist? What is that?
Some cool new title.
Yeah, no kidding. So let us know, Cancers, if these words, behavioral strategist. So that actually might be a role. I'm going to ask ChatGPT later, but you're very good at strategizing and you're very good at bringing ideas to workable solutions. I'm channeling this. Whoever you are, you're really good at it. The problem with you is, if I can call it that, is you don't trust yourself with it. So you have a gift, you have a skill, you have something like we all do. And you know it, but you're at the threshold of trusting yourself with it, however it comes out for you. Also, thank you, this leads to this one. Be very protective over your environment. Why? Because you're like a beautiful flower that's blooming and you don't want other people stepping over it. I'm going to try not to give a meaning to this message because I feel like it has its own flow. I'll read it again. Be protective over your environment because you're like a flower that's blooming and you don't want other people stepping on it. What do you get from that, Jenny?
Like, I feel like their feels are being brought up this month. So it's like, if someone just comes along and goes like this, your idea to your feelings, you could be like the crab rolls you and just get in your protective shell. And you know how crabs on the beach, they just go sideways in their little protective shell. Oh, fine, I'll just go away. I'll be small. I'll dim my light like a little crab.
Yeah.
So I feel like if someone comes along and crushes you this month, it could crush you. It's your choice.
Yeah. You're in a very vulnerable space and just, like a beautiful flower trying to bloom. If you get a whole bunch of people walking on it as a pathway, the flower is not going to survive because it's just too much traffic. Okay. Thank you. You guys are funny. They're talking about the traffic in people's heads. If you have a lot of traffic in your head, you've got too many people in your head with their voices telling you what to do.
Yes.
So if you have some new project you're acting out or bringing out into the open, and it's a bit of like, it's your testing ground, be mindful who you share it with, because most people will want to give you good advice, but their advice is based on their specific needs, experiences, and fears. Doesn't mean they don't have good advice, but it doesn't always mean that is the right advice for you. So you have to be discerning.
And Cancer, your intuition's so strong. So listen to your intuition this month.
Yeah. What I'm also hearing is there are, as intuitive as they are also very practical in nature. I don't know if that's true for Cancers or not, but I'm hearing you're also very practical in nature. So how to combine your intuition with practicality?
Nice.
That's
beautiful.
And I feel like that's going to come easier for you, Cancers. It feels like it just becomes easier. But yeah, be careful of the naysayers, and I'm not saying hide things from people, but you're in a vulnerable state, and just take it as it is. That's the message. There you go.
Leo. I'm wondering how you're doing, Leo, because you had this glorious 8-8 portal that just was so heart opening. It was so bright. It was so huge. So then your ruler, the sun, it's in Libra where it hates to be. And then it's going to move into Scorpio on October 22. Doesn't like it here either. And it's just like, well, what's happening in Leo now? It's like, are you okay, Leo? Like, are you shining or are you just like dimming? Like, are you dimming or are you shining, Leo? I'm worried about the Leos a little bit.
Good.
What do you think? What do you think, Joanna? Because there's nothing else to say. Like, there's nothing else to say for Leos, except for you had this triumphant 8-8 situation. And now it's like nothing else lighting up your sky. Leo, are you okay?
Not yet. Not yet. And that's because you are graduating. So think about it this way. Oftentimes, I would say, generally speaking, when we graduate from university or college or whatever it is, oftentimes we don't have a job right away, right? So we have the education, but we don't have the practicality of that education as far as, working. And that's when if you've ever graduated from school or something like that, just as an analogy, you know how uncomfortable it is. You've got all this knowledge, but now it's like you have to make it real, right? And I feel like many Leos are almost in that space a little bit. You're post-graduating, you have the diploma, you have the knowledge. Now it's about putting that knowledge into practice. So when I say it's time for graduation, you literally might be graduating from something for sure. But it's more graduation on an inner level. It's like you're shifting gears. You're shifting gears. What I also received was that for many of you, either coming up or this happened in September, something in your heart clicked. And I actually heard this click. Something internally clicked for you or will click for you. And that click seems to give you a different perspective. And because you had that click, and now you have your perspective, all of a sudden things just go. It's like you needed to get to this space where you had that click to have that perspective in order for the energy to start moving in that direction. So I don't know what click you're going to get in what area, but there is here I'm hearing a definite something just clicks. And here's the thing. Sometimes when something clicks, first of all, when something clicks, we feel more in alignment, number one. Number two, when it clicks, we go, oh shit, I didn't even realize that I was not in alignment. It's you have that realization that, oh my God, I didn't realize I was so out of balance. But now I do because I have a different reference point.
So that was the same as Taurus. So maybe it's the same for Leos.
Could be. Yeah. So this is going to be true for most signs, but I just heard, same as for Taurus, no more proving.
Okay.
No more seeking approval or no more seeking as much. And I can totally see some people in my life about that for sure. Yeah. So that's pretty nice. I like that.
Amazing. Good. Virgo. I hope you had a good birthday because the eclipses were in your sign. September 2, Mercury entered Virgo, then left your sign and went into Libra on September 18. September 13, Sun was right there with Mercury. September 19, Venus entered Virgo. September 21, the new moon solar eclipse, it was at 29-degree Virgo. Hey. What left your life, Virgo? What mindset completely shifted? What relationship left? What job left? What are you so done with, Virgo? You are so sick and tired of all the BS that things are changing now. Tell us about the rebirth, Virgo, because you said the word. I was just writing it. Virgo, but it was Virgo. It was a rebirth. Are you okay? Take it away, Joanna.
I literally wrote, you're about to give new birth. So for some of you, may literally be about giving birth to a baby. But from a greater perspective, you're about to birth. You are it's already happening. You are started in September. Thank you. You are in the process of birthing a new self. What does that mean? To birthing a new self is to mean birthing a new identity for yourself. Okay. So it's how you identify you. Okay. And this rebirth is not, there's a couple of things. It's not happening to you. It's happening through you. Something is birthing through you. You're the vessel. So it's not only are you birthing a new identity, because of this new identity, something wants to be birthed through you. You as the vessel. Mm-hmm. I'll tell you this, Virgos, whatever it is for you requires you to be confident. So if you're suffering with low confidence, you have to look at the underlying structures that tell you that you are not confident and why. Okay. Now, you might be birthing something new through you. And yes, you're not going to be very confident because it's new. That's totally okay. But if overall you feel like you are not a confident person, like that's going to affect whatever is trying to be birthed through you. And I will say this, and I don't make these statements very often. Whatever it is for you, Virgo, it's big. It has the potential to put you on the map. So I don't know, it's probably not going to be for everybody, but it has the potential to to put you on the map and make you visible. So some of you Virgos have fear around visibility. Okay. If that applies to you, okay, they're saying, well, give an example how that shows up. Where maybe one way you try to make yourself visible is you hold yourself back and you don't say what you think, you don't give your ideas, you just basically hold yourself small. And just be honest with it. Don't judge yourself. You have a goddamn good reason for it. Understand the reason. Because the reason is your outdated story. And that outdated story is going to limit your potential and what comes through you, what wants to be birthed out of you. And I'm telling you, I'm going to say it again. Whatever is trying to be birthed through you for some of your Virgos is big and has the potential to put you on the map. So if being seen scares you, this is exactly almost a given why you're here in the first place, to be seen. Okay? So, and then I just got butterfly, which is my side for transformation. So
Yes,
you are
again.
still on in transformation mode.
You got this, Virgo.
I love it.
I love it. Libra, happy birthday. So August 6th, Mars entered Libra. That didn't feel very good. And then on September 18, Mercury entered your sign. On September 22, the Sun entered your sign. The Sun does not like being in your sign. So there's some uncomfort that you have been dealing with, Libra. But I got news for you. October 13, Venus, your ruling planet, enters your sign. Then, a few days later, October 21, there's a new moon at 21 degree Libra. Okay, so just when you thought, Libra, holy, I've been feeling uncomfortable. Holy moly, I'm not feeling like shiny and happy people. Well, October 13 and October 21, it's a big activation for you, Libra. Not to mention it's your birthday month, but like I'm feeling positive for Libra. I think it's rebirth as well. Yeah, how I'm feeling about the Libras. You too, Joanna?
Is very similar to Virgo.
Yes.
So if you resonate with this Libra, you are here to be a way shower. Okay. However, you have been resisting it like mofo. Okay. So the reason why you have been resisting with it is because the fundamental reason for your resistance is the fear of not being safe to do so. In other words, if you are here to be a way shower, which we're being shown, that's the messages the field is asking me to give to you. Then at some point in your evolution, you were a way shower and it didn't end well for you. So you carry a cellular memory of being punished, abused, having tortured, having lost your life, ridiculed, minimized, called crazy, whatever it may be. And your sense of inner safety was severely compromised. This is true, I would say, for 99% healer types, right? We've been ridiculed for bringing these gifts. But you are here showing up again in this life in order to move through that density so that you can be the way shower that you already are. You are that already.
To remember it.
You know it. And you know it. And the other message I got was, you're not here to show the way. You're here to show a way. Yeah. Because there is many ways to get to certain something. There is maybe not millions, thousands of ways to get to source, millions. Jenny and I are speaking on a different way, right? So you're not here to show the way, you're here to show a way.
Yes.
And that's more than enough. And no, in case you're wondering, you are not here to save the world. Okay? You're not here to save the world. You are here to commit to your truth. Once you commit to your truth, whatever your truth is, deep, deep truth, that's how you help reshaping the world. Because when you're in truth, you're in your essence. When you're in your essence, you are fully plugged into the field or source. When you're fully plugged in, you emit that frequency, which means that frequency is very powerful. So yes, you are a powerful person, but you also radiate a very powerful field, which every single being has access to. But if they don't feel safe to do so, they won't. But you're here to show people how to feel safe being true to themselves.
Authenticity. Powerful. That was a powerful channeling for Libras, and it hit for both of us because Joanna's a Libra rising, and I'm a Libra moon. So I will just remind you, Libra, that use the October 21st new moon to set those intentions, because those are really powerful transmissions from Joanna. And so feel into that and make sure you write your intentions at the October 21st new moon.
I forgot that applied to me. I'm actually glad I forgot. Didn't mess with my head. I'll have to listen to it again.
Scorpio, happy birthday. The sun will enter your sign on October 22 this year. It's always different for Scorpio. Sometimes it's the 22nd, sometimes it's the 23rd. So, and then let's go back a month. On September 22, Mars entered Scorpio and squared Pluto, both of your ruling planets. So Scorpio, you're ruled by Mars, you're ruled by Pluto. Or sorry, your Mars rules Scorpio, okay? Pluto rules Scorpio. And Mars and Pluto went off at the end of September after the eclipses. So Scorpios, if anyone can go to the depth of the deep, deep, deep depths, it is Scorpio. And so when your ruling planets are wearing off, how the heck are you doing, Scorpio? Did you do the next level deprogramming? Did you do the unlearning that unlearned all of your generational trauma and went back to all the grandmothers? Did you reprogram it? Or did you stay stuck in that darkness? Because that was dark and that was polarizing. It was like black or white situation for Scorpio. And so here you are. We have other activations this month for you, Scorpio. October 6th, Mercury enters your sign. October 19, Mercury is conjunct Mars. October 23, the day after your sun sign, after the sun going into your sign, Mercury is conjunct Lilith. October 26th, Mars is conjunct Lilith. Like what? Like what? Scorpio? I think it's like the Scorpio month. Like I think it's the Scorpio month. So if anyone can do it, it's Scorpio. How are you feeling? How are you dealing with all the depth, Scorpio? If you're on the side of holy crap, yes, I'm feeling this and I am doing it, like you got to get online or something, or you got to get on the phone with your friends and you got to tell us how you did it. Because we need your depths. Or are you drowning, Scorpio? Are you drowning? It's one or the other, because this is your month, Scorpio. Are you feeling that, Joanna?
What's interesting, because they showed me the Tarot 12, which is the Hangman, and that's shift of perspective, right? It's either you're stuck in your own perspective or you begin to see that there is a way out because you adopt a different perspective. So when I wrote the word Scorpio, I heard, hell yes, hallelujah, finally. So something is finally clicking in for you. For some of you, you've worked years and years and years and years on trying to better yourself. And you're finally coming to a place where you are actually starting to feel good, and it feels weird.
Can I get an A, women? I'm a Scorpio rising, and you are big. I am full body goosebumped. That is exactly what's happening.
Wow.
Okay.
Oh. So
I have worked.
I've got
4 years.
Yeah. And there's a bit of humor from the field.
Yes,
and
indeed.
you were so responsible. Like you took responsibility to another level.
Thank you for seeing me, universe.
They're not laughing. It's just
No.
The universe is humorous.
I am, yes.
But now, and okay, a few things. Well, hang on here. Woof. Several layers.
Yes.
So complete shift of perspective. Finally, okay, it has everything to do with your worth and value. Okay, generally everything goes back there. Not only is it big for you, but you're clearing an entire ancestral line of that nonsense. And because of that, not only are you beginning to sense a new level of inner freedom, it shows up in how you show up in the world, and people say, you do something different. Something's new with you. Something like that, right? It's you're literally beginning to radiate more of your natural light. Not because you've worked so hard to be of value. It's because you finally fucking recognized you always had.
Clicked for us.
And that is a massive restructure of your inner coherence.
Yep.
Because it means I no longer have to prove myself. I no longer have to overdo or over-control, because I have this newfound level of strength within me. And it's yes, hallelujah. That's what it feels like.
Women.
It's men, women. And it's like, it's the feeling like you've arrived, but the universe goes, yeah, but you never left. You never left. You never left. And you're like, what's happening over here? Oopsie doopsies. Can I see complete my fact? Yeah.
It's available to us, Scorpios.
What?
I saw that in this month, and I'm like, let's put the crown on.
So it makes sense what's happened. So it makes sense what's being said. Okay. Yeah. That is foundational shift, which it's not just one on the other different. It's foundational. You are in the process of freaking rewriting history.
Yeah. Yes.
That's full of guys.
We did it. And then, like, totally different for Sagittarius. Sagittarius, you're getting a break. Sagittarius, so happy for you. You're getting a break, okay? Mercury enters your sign on October 29th. So the very, 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 very end of the month, okay? You got Mercury going in there. But your ruling planet, Jupiter, is doing really well over there in Cancer. You love it. You know, you want Jupiter in your sign, I get it. But the second favorite home for Jupiter, your ruling planet in Cancer, it's great. And you don't have anyone else bothering you. Are you loving it? Are you feeling it? Because, yeah, those eclipses were something, weren't they? But happy for you, Sagittarius. If you're not feeling this break, then maybe you need to give yourself a little bit of a looky-loo and just be like, oh, maybe I need to take a rest. Maybe I need to hydrate or something, because it sure seems good, Sagittarius. Are you sensing that for the Saggies as well, Joanna?
So I'm getting a bit of a different message. I'm sure it somehow connects. You got to let me know. What I heard was that for some of you Saggies, so I have a Sag too, some of your more prominent shadows are going to come up. When they do, it's not an if, it's when they do. It's the recognition of a shadow that allows you to liberate yourself from your shadow's grip.
Yes.
So there's a lot of monumental moments happening for the signs, but that makes sense, I guess. So because you're still a little bit in the shadow phase, your clarity is not as clear as it could be. Okay? So if there is something you really want to do or start, the message I got, and everybody listen to your intuition, but the message I got was not quite yet. And that's because vibrationally, you're not aligned with it yet fully, because you're still in the process of tossing and turning.
Yeah.
Okay? So if or when your shadows come up, for some of you might be a shadow around independence. Maybe you're afraid you're going to be independent or not supported. There's something about independence. And that was for everybody's message too. So when a shadow comes up, recognize it and see it, thank you, and see it as a shadow. In other words, shadow is born out of fear and restriction. Okay? When you recognize your shadow, you recognize how you hold yourself back. The moment you recognize how you hold yourself back is the moment when you can choose to no longer hold yourself back. But that requires you to be conscious. So you're not getting rid of your shadows. You are becoming more conscious of your shadow. And because of your consciousness of your shadow, you take your power back so that your shadow is not in control of you. So you don't get rid of your shadow. You shift your relationship with your shadow, where your shadow is no longer your manager and boss. You are your own manager and boss, and your shadow is, well, just there for the ride. Now, I'm giving a little bit of a, funny context. And the reason why I'm saying this is because the field doesn't want you to be afraid of shadows. Shadow is always there to protect you. It just doesn't know how to do it any other way. When you make friend with your shadow, you're no longer fighting some inner enemy, which means you're no longer fighting you. When you're not fighting you, you have more energy available to what you want to experience, because less energy is spent on inner conflict. But if you're unconscious of this conflict, you don't even know you're wasting your energy. Does that make sense what I'm saying? In other words, becoming aware of your shadow allows you to be more in control and in charge of your life. So it's not about getting rid of the shadow, but it's about shifting the relationship you have with your shadow. So triggers often can point to a shadow self, right? If somebody says something and you just want to, go at them and kill them, then you might want to look at, oh my goodness, what is being triggered inside of me? I've got some unresolved anger and has nothing to do with what's happening over there. It has everything to do with what has happened in the past. And oh boy, I guess I'm still holding on to it. And because you're holding on to it, you give it energy. But the moment you become conscious of it, you have a choice not to do that anymore. So, message, mirror reflection. Looking at yourself, looking at your shadows, but again, not from a space of judgment, but from a space of recognition. And the more you acknowledge your shadows without trying to fix them, kill them, judge them, the more the shadow loses its potency, which means that shadow is no longer as potent and controlling over you, which means you get your power back, is what it really means.
Mm-hmm.
So if you want to know how you lose your power, just look at how much power you give to your shadows. Right? It's another deep one. So
Makes sense, because the ruling planet of Sag is Jupiter. Jupiter's over in Cancer. Cancer is all the feels.
well,
So Sag, you're getting all the feels. Are you disowning the feels? Or are you honoring the feel?
mhm.
Makes sense.
Yeah. All right. There we go.
Capricorn. Nice little break for Capricorn. I always honor the Capricorns because you had Pluto, you had that conjunction back in 2020. We know what happened after that day in the 2020s. Not all happened in Capricorn. It's nice that the Capricorns survived all of it all. However, your ruling planet, Saturn, just went back. It was in Aries and it just went back into Pisces. And so, no, you don't, Capricorn, no. Your ruling planet's in Pisces. Pisces doesn't have boundaries and rules. And Capricorn, you love boundaries and rules. And Capricorn, you love building things and work ethic and working hard. And Pisces doesn't like those things. So I honor you that you've had some really hard years, but your ruling planet's not doing great. It's in retrograde, number one. And number two, it's back in Pisces. And it's like, look, you're the Capricorn, you're the goat. Capricorns are the goats of the zodiac. Like there's nobody better than a high vibe in Capricorn. They are the greatest of all time. So you are just like all signs are, but Capricorn, you're being challenged to honor where your boundaries have been leaky, where your work ethic has been leaky. You've got a few more months now to master this. If anyone's going to master it, it's the goats. So are you looking at all that stuff? Are you picking up on that for the Caps, Joanna?
Yeah, actually, so the card that came up was same as for the other signs, being the mentors, but I got a slightly different message. So what I receive for Capricorns is collaborations. However, what I saw was an instance when someone, so a couple things, being open to collaboration. So maybe you're a solo person and maybe you like doing things solo, and the field of the universe is saying, hey, just FYI, there might be some collaborations that, that would be really good for you. Okay. However, making sure that whatever collaboration you step into, they don't slow you down. So if you get yourself into collaboration with somebody, but that collaboration is asking you to somehow, I want to say be less, but I'm not quite understanding what it means. Give me an example. Hang on one second. If you're in a collaboration and that collaboration has parameters where you're not being able to be fully yourself, and because of it, you almost like you shrink, that's not the right collaboration for you. Okay. And it's interesting because I've had that experience. Jenny knows, and I was in a collaboration, and every time we would get together, my body almost like shrunk. I instantly made myself smaller to not make the other person uncomfortable. That's completely on me. It's completely on me. But I recognized it, and I realized that it wasn't good for me because it was triggering some other things in me. So I acknowledged it, I started working on it, and then that collaboration dissipated. But I knew that if I continue with the collaboration, I was, it was more about performance. It's like I needed to perform a certain way rather than being authentic, because I felt that if I was authentic, I would upset the other person. Okay. So I instinctively made myself smaller because I didn't want the other person to feel less than. So I took on their responsibilities of how they felt. Okay. Does it make sense to what I'm saying, Jenny?
It really does. And I think that's the secret sauce for every single sign. The secret sauce is authenticity.
Yeah. Yes. It doesn't. Thank you for reminding me. This is not a message that says you can't collaborate or you can't compromise. It's not about that. We usually in collaborations, we have to compromise. That's just the way it is.
It's not perfect.
Yeah, it's not, because you got humans working together, right?
Yeah, right.
However, if we fall into the habit of over-compromising because we're afraid we're going to be judged, we're afraid we're going to be not liked, whatever it is that we're afraid of, then we are no longer being our true self. Who suffers then? The person who's not being true to themselves. And the field, because the field is not getting the best of you. Right? So be open to collaborations, be mindful of the energetics of collaborations, and just make sure that it vibes with you. And you might be in a collaboration where it's been vibing with you for a while, but now you're starting to feel there is something off. Or maybe I'm just making up. Just feel into it. Don't judge it. But it could be for some of you that some collaborations are coming to an end because they serve their purpose, and now you're ready for something new, right? So I'm not saying if you're not having a great time, quit or whatever, but it's worthwhile just sitting with yourself and really asking, is this still good for me? Is this still what I want? Sometimes we grow apart and people go in different directions and we're no longer vibing. And, then that creates potential problems. So there's a message there too about current collaborations, but mostly to be open and to be, thank you, observant and not to absorb other people's feelings and emotions. So if do Capricorns do that? Like, are they absorbers?
They're the greatest of all time. They have the strongest work ethic. They've got boundaries. They build the thing. They got structure. They follow the rules. So with their ruler being in Pisces, things are leaky. Capricorn don't like it leaky. Are you being leaky? Are you being, because then you're not being authentic, Capricorn. That's exactly what Joanna's saying.
Okay, yeah, so the leaking of energy. Exactly. Yeah, so that's what I have for you guys, Capricorns.
Love it. Aquarius. It's big. I got one thing to tell you. One thing only. Aquarius. Are you ready? On October 13th, Pluto is stationing direct at 1 degree of Aquarius. That's right. Pluto is now in your sign and you know it. Oh, you know it, Aquarius. The Aquarius people that I know in my life, oh, big changes. Big changes. Okay. Just ask the Capricorns. They went through this. Okay. Aquarius is stationing direct. So it's been retrograde. It is now stationing direct on October 13th. So the day any planet, let alone the planet of rebirth, death, rebirth, which is Pluto in your sign, any planet stationing either direct or forward, whenever it stations, you feel it. It's like, whoa. And it's happening in your sign. It's going direct again in your sign at the very beginning, the first decan. So if you're an early born Aquarius, whoa, 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 you're feeling this one. You've got to learn how to ride this wave, this cosmic wave that changes, like that song, changes. Like you've just got to become that great observer and that neutral, and you've got to ride that cosmic wave. Get on your magic carpet ride, Aquarius. Ride it. Change is coming. Change is here. And oh, you're going to feel it on October the 13th. Take it away, Joanna.
I'm just tuning in. One message that came through was, I don't know what to do with it, but something about sensible diet. So I actually looked, what does it mean to have a sensible diet? Well, it's a diet that supports and nourishes your body, your energy, and feels doable for your lifestyle without extreme restriction, guilt, or obsession. So this is for some of you, Aquarius. If you have been or are thinking of some extreme diets. And by the way, I'm not telling you what to do because I'm not a nutritionist. Sometimes we need something extreme in order to deal with some kind of a medical thing. Okay, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about something that's sustainable. Anytime we go into extreme of any kind, it's never going to be sustainable because it's an extreme. It requires far too much effort. So that doesn't mean that we shouldn't give effort to something, but you understand what I'm saying, yes? This is about bringing more balance into your life, not only as a diet, as a lifestyle, but balance overall. Anything to the extreme usually stems from feeling like something is not good enough. So if you are following a very extreme diet, unless it's got like your doctor said, hey, you should really eat this because it's going to help you with your arthritis, maybe just ask yourself, why so extreme? There's something there for some people, okay? Because whatever it is that you're doing to the extreme stems for some of you, again, with the inability to see your own worth and your value. So if you're, I don't even know what example to give you, but if you're extreme in some things, it's worthwhile asking a question, why?
Or maybe too, like if you've been doing this your whole life and now you're being strongly urged to stop doing that, like say, an extreme would be working out hard 7 days a week, and you've been doing it your whole life. Well, maybe your body's telling you shouldn't do that anymore.
Yes. And maybe you've been doing that, as an example, as Jenny mentioned, because you were driven by the idea that if you stay in a certain shape, then you're going to be loved and accepted.
Right.
And the body.
And now your body's telling you no more of that.
That's you. That's you. Yes. And you're like, well, if I can't do that, what's going to happen to me?
Who will I be? Who will I be?
Fear comes out. Right.
Yeah.
So there's something there. The other thing is that you are in a process of re-emergence. So you are emerging again. We always emerging, right? Re-emerging. And so re-emergence is another way of saying you're going through a birth canal. You're going through birth. Okay?
That's exactly how it feels for Aquarius, the way that I'm reading the astrology. It's like, something big.
Yeah. And as you know, once the baby gets into a birth canal, it doesn't just decide to go back. It's got to go through. That it's one way only. Yeah. And it's uncomfortable. It's tight. It's like, sometimes scary, but you are re-emerging. And I'm actually seeing the light at the end of the tunnel. So for some of you have been in this quote unquote tunnel for quite some time, and you've been miserable. I get it. But I see, I feel by end of October, you're going to start feeling a little bit better, if this applies to you.
That's the way I see it for them too.
Okay, good. And last but not least, there is something that is in your mind, and the message, as far as you wanting to pursue something, and the message from the field is this: yes, you are qualified. Now, there's a nuance here, of course. Logical Joanna has to say, you're not going to apply for a surgeon's position if you don't have the right education experience. Obviously.
Don't go to the surgeon.
Obviously. Okay. But there's, whatever it is for some of you, you're qualified. Thank you. What qualifies you? Precisely your experience.
Yes.
So, however that applies to you, there it is.
And last, but certainly not least, Pisces. I've got one question for you. How are you? Because Saturn's back in your sign. You don't like that. You don't like hosting Saturn. Saturn's the taskmaster. Saturn wants rules, regulations, and restrictions. Pisces is the ocean. Okay. How do you contain the ocean? Okay. Sorry about that. But it's not just that. September 7th, the total full moon lunar eclipse was at 15 degrees Pisces. You're another one of your ruling planets. So you've got two. Let's talk about the first ruling planet, Jupiter. It's going really well. It's forward. It's in Cancer. So that part's really good. You're happy with that. However, your second ruling planet, Neptune, it's leaving Aries on October 22. That's big changes. Are you listening? So Pisces, it's just like, okay, well, the eclipses and the North Node, all that for so long. And now it's like more stuff in October for Pisces. And Pisces, you're the fish, you're the ocean, you're the flow, you're divine feminine, you're the veil, you're like otherworldly, you're in the cosmos, or are you on Earth? Who are you? I get you, Pisces. You're very spiritual. You're very beautiful. And there's a lot going on for you. So I'm just wondering how you're doing. And authenticity rules. Please don't forget that. I'm wondering what Joanna's picking up on from her spirit guides, because when I see the astrology for Pisces, I'm like, not sure how you're feeling.
So if you're Pisces, you're very likely, feeling a bit of resistance, sometimes a little bit more than a little. Okay? And that's because you are letting go again. You are letting go of the part of you that used to define you, but no longer defines you. And whatever that part of you is, it's structured in self-limitations. So the card actually is ultimate evolution. Another way of saying it, you too are being reborn.
Yes.
You are leaving the old ways, and you may feel like you have no support from others.
Mhm.
So you might be becoming a bit of an oddball.
Mhm.
All of a sudden, you're not seeing things the way you used to see. Now you're seeing things in a different ways, but a whole bunch of people around you still see it the old way.
Yeah.
So you're like living in two different worlds.
Right.
And it's not about that you're seeing right, they're seeing wrong, they're right, you're wrong. It's not about that. It's a space of literally being at a different frequency, not because you're better, it's because it's different. And that level of difference can feel very isolating.
Yes.
Okay. So you might feel like you are needing to isolate yourself, or you feel isolated, or you're feeling like people don't get you.
Mhm.
You're feeling a little bit kind of lost and confused. Okay. You are one of those millions of people, I'm sure, who is here to seed new consciousness. Okay. And otherwise you wouldn't be listening to this podcast anyway, right? So yeah, so just FYI. So, and because of that, in order to seed something, you have to have the seed. And when I talk about the seed, I'm talking about your vibration. So thank you. It doesn't mean you're more evolved. It just means you are at a different vibration, and that different vibration is higher coherence. It's closer to source. So it's not that you're closer to source and others are not. It's because your awareness of what source is conscious to you. Think of it this way. Your awareness of consciousness is that you are part of consciousness. It's not some God living outside of you that you have to pray to and be afraid that he or she is going to send you to hell. Okay? Your level of consciousness is source is me. I'm part of source. There's no distinction. Okay? Other people don't have that conscious awareness. And because they don't, they're limiting themselves from the experience of that source, because their limitations will drive their experience. Yeah. So, example. If you were born into a family when they're very religious, just as an example, and one day you begin to wake up and something is happening within you, and part of your thinking is, I'm going crazy, I'm losing my shit. Well, you're actually awakening. And then you begin to have these realizations that you are part of source. And not only that, source is talking to you. That can really fuck with your brain. It did with mine. Okay. It still does. So let's say you have a conversation with all your friends and family who believe that God is outside and they have to pray. And you say something along the lines of, well, source and I have been communicating. They will look at you like you need to be tied into a wall and executed.
Yeah, it's time.
How dare you?
Mental institution. Yes.
And it's not because they're bad people. It's because that's where they're vibrating. Okay.
Mhm.
But that's
Their
not
programming is deep.
Yes. And you're coming out of that programming.
And you're coming out.
Yeah. So you might be thought as the weird one, and you're thinking, no, actually, you're the weird ones.
Actually.
Yeah. But you can't convince anyone of it, because this is something that cannot be convinced to a person. It has to be experienced.
And here and there shows extreme discomfort. That is extremely uncomfortable to be living there.
Yes.
And that's why I was like, Pisces, are you okay? That is extremely uncomfortable to be in that
We'll be the
space.
first ones to tell you. Yep. Yeah. It can be very isolating. very weird, because literally you are walking around like I have been thinking, I think I'm losing my shit.
Yeah.
This is what awakening feels like. Right?
So there's a rebirth theme for each and every single sign that we're noticing in October. For you, Pisces, it might be a real mind fuck. There you go. There, I just
We said it.
summarized it so nicely for you.
Yeah, I've had a few of those. Jenny knows. Very recently, actually.
It's pretty mind fucky for the other ones too. But for you, Pisces, since you're on the eclipse axis, it's a lot to process. Please do know that you're not alone.
Yeah. Find maybe communities, comment under the video if you feel like, you're going crazy. Trust me, you're not alone.
Yeah.
In fact, we've said this on the show before. 2 years ago, I was going to get my nails done, I think, and I had this awareness wash over me. And it was clear as day, was this knowing that I have to continue the path I'm on, because in a very short time, there's going to be so many people thinking they're going crazy and they're not going to understand what's going on.
Yeah, so it's exactly this.
That's what's happening. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you Pisces, if you're listening to this, you're one of the first ones. Which means you don't really, there's no formula for it. You just got to wing it. You have to wing it.
There's no book. There's no manual.
Although people can share experiences like we do, but there's no manual. It's not like you go to religion and religion says, do this, or that. This is what's going to happen to you. No.
Yeah, all the signs are experiencing a rebirth, but when you're Pisces, you're the fish. Fish are very slippery. Like the ocean, it's grand.
Yeah,
like it's
right.
You can't contain the fish. Like it slips away. It might feel real slippery.
Yeah, but that's okay. That's okay.
Okay.
It's the ultimate evolution.
Yes, it is.
Yeah. All right.
Well, that was bloody amazing, Joanna. What a wonderful update for all 12 zodiac signs. I hope you listened for your sun, your moon, your rising. I was listening for those 3 for myself, and all 3 resonated for me. So thank you so much for joining us.
Happy October.
And by all means, share your eclipse stories, share your September survival stories,
share your mindfuck story.
Share your mindfuck stories. Yeah, you're for it.
That's it. All right, guys. It's been a pleasure as always. We look forward to seeing you again. Take care and happy October. Bye.
Bye.